Night 4, Netherworld, from 1992. This is a Charles Band production. And in the intro, I'd mentioned rolling the dice on box art that I've just remembered growing up. This was one of those movies, and oh god, does it suck fucking ass. Charles Band, what were you thinking? Now, I don't want to dog the man too much, because he gave us Puppet Master, I'm assuming every iteration of it, and it's kind of silly as those movies are. They're very near and dear to my heart. Mainly the older ones, not so much the newer ones, but those are still pretty fucking cool too. I've seen a lot of Band's other work, Full Moon Picture Aficionado right here, but Netherworld was one of the bad ones. Like, I kind of wanted to turn it off, but for the sake of my 2020 October Spooktacular, I persevered. I watched it. It takes place in Louisiana. I'm assuming New Orleans. Kid shows up, and what's my capture doing? Spooky, my shit's haunted. Alright, either way, kid's dad dies, and he inherits his house, his massive mansion, and ooh, this is weird. Alright, technical errors. Alright, yeah. Basically, dad dies, leaves his son, his estranged son, his mansion and all of his shit. Well, stumbles across a diary. Basically, the dad had been hanging out at the local brothel, banging chicks, as older white gentlemen do, in the deep south. Well, he stumbled across some supernatural horror business. Basically, he fell in love with a chick who can raise the dead. And apparently is a pretty good whore, too. Well, either way, the dad tells the son, hey, follow these instructions, I think. Contact this chick and bring me back to life. Well, the son's torn and kind of stupid and keeps getting told, don't go to the whorehouse, don't go to the whorehouse. Well, guess what? He goes to the whorehouse and falls in love with the whore priestess, whatever. She has the power to bring the dead back to life. Well, she also has the power to turn people into birds. There's a lot of birds in this brothel. There's a lot of birds in this movie. I think, because, granted, I kind of checked out of this one early. I counted at least, four. At least 4 people got turned into birds for just being assholes. Just being shitty humans. They got turned into birds. Well, if you don't get turned into a bird in this whorehouse by pissing them off or breaking the rules, or if you try to hurt one of them, a magical fucking hand appears, made of stone, comes out of the wall, its a little resting place, and it kills you. And on the end of its fingers, there's a little snake mouth on at least 2, and bird heads on the other, and blades, I think, on the thumb. Either way, I really remember this box art as growing up, because I thought, oh, this looks scary, but, there's better fucking movies. And, basically he tries to bring his dad back to life, and his dad's just kind of an ass. So they turn him into a bird. And happy ever after. I don't fucking know. This movie sucked. And I'm glad I watched it. It just makes me appreciate Charles Band's other work. Because, oh shit, he did not try on this one. And that's all I got. Bye. Day 5. Society. This is a classic from 1989, the year of my birth, and it's directed by one of my favorite horror directors of the time period, and probably further, Brian Usna. Uh, if you're not familiar with Brian Usna, go Wikipedia him. Go watch his movies. They're all really good, and he's also one of my favorites because he does Lovecraftian adaptations. Because I that really checks the box for my dumb ass. Because I love me some H.P. Lovecraft, as problematic as he can be. Yeah. Either way, his movie Society is my fifth pick of this month. I don't really want to get too deep into this because you all should watch this. This is a really good movie. And it's kind of funny too, which is how most of Usna's work comes across. It's either going to scare you, or it's going to make you laugh, or it's going to do both. And that really works for me, at least in horror. But yeah, this is basically the tale of a high school boy that doesn't fit in. His family is, I'd say, upper class. He's popular. He's running for class president. He should be happy and okay with things, but he just doesn't relate, and he doesn't know why. And he's basically becoming paranoid and just having nightmares, waking up in a cold sweat, clutching large kitchen knives, and he's starting to notice that his family's acting rather peculiar, seeing weird bulges, like on shoulder blades that, where there shouldn't be bulges, or seeing someone that looks like they're turned around, like their back's on their front. He's kind of losing it, or is he? Oh. But basically, he's trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Once another kid from his school shows him some evidence of his family doing some rather strange incestual things, and he tries to, show this evidence to his therapist, who plays a major role in this movie. And the therapist is like, "Oh, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're crazy." Plays him the tape back, the evidence, and it's completely different. It's a normal conversation. It's not the wild, crazy shit he was hearing earlier that day. So the movie kind of leads you to believe maybe he's crazy, or shit, maybe things are how he says it is. He doesn't really know what's going on. But out of the last 20 minutes of this fucking movie, he finds out, and at first I really wasn't a huge fan of this movie, but the more it went on, the more intrigued I got, and that last 20 minutes, man, as soon as I saw it, I thought, holy fuck, who else do I know that needs to see this? Because, last 20, 30 minutes of this movie, they're burned into my brain. Basically because of Screaming Mad George. If you, again, don't know who that is, go look him up. He's a phenomenal special effects artist, and he really shines in this movie. Like, holy fuck. I've watched countless videos on just how they did it, and it's pretty interesting if you like that kind of movie behind the scenes magic. Screaming Mad George, he knows what he's doing, and so does Usna. And whoever wrote this movie, because I don't really recall who wrote it, but either way, go watch this movie. Do it for me, but more importantly, do it for you. End October. Day 6. Antrum. Let me check my notes. Antrum, the deadliest film ever made, from 2019. I'd read about this, I guess, back in 2019 when it came out, and it sounded interesting. I've seen cursed film movies, and The Ring's okay. Ringu, the original's better. trying to think what else. And like cigarette burns. If you ever seen the Master of Horror collection, I'm pretty sure it's a Carpenter movie. It's got Norman Reedus in it. Pretty good for what it is. Well, Antrum, the deadliest film ever made, takes it a step further. It's the first bit of this movie shot kind of like a documentary. They're kind of going into the actual film Antrum. It's like a 1970s film. I don't know. I think it's like 80s. Either way, it's an old film that when they aired it, the fucking movie theater caught fire. A bunch of people died. Then it started making the rounds of, like film festivals and stuff. And basically people who were watching it were just straight up fucking dying. And then, the film aficionados out in the world, they started getting curious and scared. Well, after countless deaths and accidents and just a bunch of horrid shit surrounding this movie and this film, the producers of this movie the movie outside the movie, they have I guess the people doing the documentary, they have found maybe the last remaining reel of the movie, and they can tell there's been something done to it. And then they basically just show you the movie, and it's kind of sad. It's the story of a brother and a sister, and they have a dog. Beginning of the movie, the dog gets put down, and the little brother is very upset. He's having horrid nightmares, and big sister decides to help him out. She gets a book from her friend Ike, who you don't really see. Basically gives her a book of instructions of how to get to hell. So they go off into the woods and they dig a hole. And she kind of leads them through the different rituals, which surface level, they don't look very real, like they would do anything. Because, I'd say the older sister's, I don't know, 20s. Little brother, 7 at best. So you can really sneak some shit past a 7-year-old. And she does. But then things start getting a little too real. And then she starts to doubt what the fuck is going on. This movie's only like an hour and 30 minutes, but it probably took me all of 2 hours to watch. Just going through, because, like I said, the people who found the last reel admitted that somebody had doctored it. And by doctored it, they spliced in scenes of torture, sigils, binaural beats, just all kinds of stuff added to it. And just the amount that it pops up throughout the film, I was constantly pausing and thinking, oh, what the fuck was that? Words in the trees, but when words go away, you can see the actual tree branches have been, moved around to actually shape the letters that you're seeing flash across the screen. It's just a really cool movie. The idea around it's pretty out there, It kind of reminded me of Digging Up the Marrow a little bit. That, not really found footage type feel, but just kind of, I don't know, something about it reminded me of Digging Up the Marrow. Maybe it was the beginning part, mockumentary, documentary, whatever you want to call it. This movie, like I said, it's real sad. Kid just wants to see his fucking dog again. And the sister, going above and beyond, really tries to help her little brother get over the death of a dog. And then other things. And as much as I want to sit here and ramble on about this more, I'm not. Because I want you to watch it. And me and my associates from Blackheart Cinema Podcast will probably do an episode on this. So, stay tuned for that shit. And, go watch Antrum, the deadliest film ever made. Day 7. I saw the devil. and it was fucking cool. This is a Korean movie from 2010. It was in the horror section. It has horror elements, but deep down, this is a revenge flick of probably one of the higher calibers. I was really impressed. I'm kind of mad that I hadn't seen this any sooner. I meant to actually make this like the fourth entry, but holy shit, this is a 2.5 hour long movie, which, I mean, honestly, I can't really think of anything that could be cut out of it, per se, but this was a good one. I'm not going to get into a lot of the details because it's, like I said, it's like a 2.5 hour long movie, and I'm trying to keep this kind of short, as short as I can. But basically it boils down to the main character is, I'm probably going to butcher this name, but it's Kim Soo-hyun. He is just like a special agent of some sort. Let's just call him a badass. And he has a fiance and or wife. I'm not really sure on the details. Her name is Ju-hyun. I'm gonna call her Ju-on. Ju-on basically breaks down and like on the side of the road, tires out or something. He's waiting on a tow. Taxi pulls up and the guy tries to help her. He's kind of being kind of weird, and she basically tells him to fuck off. Well, he turns around, breaks her fucking window open, drags her out, and the next thing you know, she's tied up naked under some plastic, and he's about to kill her. And she begs for her life. And the killer, who is Kung Chul, let's call him Kung, or Kyung. Kyung is just like, looks at her, she's just like, don't kill me. And he's like, why not? She's like, I'm pregnant. His response, kills her, hacks her up, and just kind of spreads her body parts around. Well, she goes missing, and she just happens to be the daughter of an old police detective. So they're out in full force searching for her, and they're expecting the worst, because there's a lot of blood left at her car whenever she got snatched up. Well, Kim Soo-hyun finds out, and he is fucking devastated. And, obviously so is the father of Ju-young, and he proceeds to hand over the details of 4 different suspects to secret agent boyfriend. He proceeds to basically hunt down them all until he can figure out who the fuck killed his lady. Oh boy, like, even the guys that didn't do it, they're fucked. Like, he takes a wrench to a dude's ball sack, and I say that, and they made jokes about his balls being broken, but holy fuck did it look painful. Because the camera, you get to see like 4 or 5 good ass whacks, and like, ugh. It's almost like they really did it to the guy's balls, because like, it sounded painful on his end. And this is a movie full of painful moments that were actually like performed really well. It's very believable. It's not like fucking Scream Queen bullshit that plagues a lot of horror movies. And even the blood effects in this, they didn't look like, there was not a single point I thought, oh, it looked kind of fake. It all looked really pretty real. Like the only part I would imagine might be faked was the mouth. Well, goddamn, of course it had. This is like 5 a.m. right now, so if you'll forgive me. there's a part where another serial killer who's helping out Kyung, Cool, Chul, whatever, is talking shit from the hospital bed after he's already had his ass beat by Secret Agent Boyfriend. And Secret Agent Boyfriend asks, "Oh, is it funny?" And proceeds to force his hands into his mouth and tells him he's going to give him a permanent smile, and starts fucking pulling. And it starts tearing. And, of course, the guy's coughing up blood and trying to scream through it all. And we never really figure out if he lived through that. But, basically, like I said, Secret Agent Boyfriend is hunting down suspects, and once he finds Kyung Kyul, he knows he's found him, and basically just fucks him up, and then leaves. And I thought, wait, what the fuck, is he coming back to get him again? Nope. He sneaks a little listening device, in pill form. It's really neat looking. Basically makes him swallow it as he's losing consciousness. So and it's also a GPS, so he's able to track him the majority of this movie. So he knows every movie he's making. So all he's got to do is catch him while he thinks he's doing something, whoop his fucking ass, then leave. Because after he whoops his ass the first time, he gets in his ear and tells him his nightmare's just begun. And Kyung Kyul, he murders a lot of people during this movie. Very graphically, mind you. He's no slouch, but Secret Agent Boyfriend, holy fuck, man. I think early on they have an encounter where Kyung Kyul has a sickle and a knife, and he's basically trying to fight Secret Agent Boyfriend, and he, unarmed, doesn't even catch a movie scratch, oh, you fucking cut my shoulder. No, he's just dodging swings, sticking and moving. But yeah, there's also other serial killers in this movie. Some get what's coming to them. Well, actually, they all kind of get what's coming to them. Don't really want to get too far into this because, like I said, this is a very long movie, and I am very tired. But this has been my first, well, I guess everyone's first week of October. I hope there's more to come. I'm not going to give up. I set a goal, and I'm going to finish it. And hey, you guys get to see what I look like now. Hideous. Happy Halloween. Wait for part 2. Where's my finger? There it is. Part 2's coming, motherfuckers. Get ready.